Welcome to The Explainer. You know the feeling. You're watching this breathtaking, hyper-realistic AI-generated clip. The lighting is just gorgeous, the textures are flawless, and then a car literally melts straight through a solid brick wall, or maybe a coffee cup just decides to float away into space. The visual fidelity is absolutely stunning, but the basic laws of motion, completely broken. Well, today we are unpacking a brand new framework called PhysAgent that actually fixes this problem through a remarkably human process, trial and error. So you really have to wonder, why do these massively advanced models fail at something a toddler understands intuitively? I mean, current vision language models are incredible at rendering pixels, but they are structurally flawed when it comes to handling actual physical dynamics. And the root cause of all this glitchiness is a fundamental problem known as one-shot prediction. Here is our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the AI physics problem, then we'll enter PhysAgent, map out the reflective loop, and finally decode the language of motion. All right, let's jump straight into part one, the AI physics problem. Think of current physics-grounded video generation like asking an AI to take a crazy hard physics test completely blindfolded. That is one-shot prediction in a nutshell. The system essentially tries to guess every single physical parameter. We're talking initial speed, mass, friction, all in one single pass, generating this massive specification and then just blindly executing it. And because all these variables are so tightly connected, even a micro miscalculation in just one parameter basically cascades into a total catastrophic failure for the whole scene. It literally never takes the blindfold off to check its own work. Take a bowling scenario, for instance. The AI gets a prompt to knock down a tricky split. Now, the scene reconstruction is flawless. The lighting, the polished lane, the ball itself, they all look great. But because it guessed the force direction in a single, unverified shot, the ball goes totally wide. It misses the left pin completely. So yeah, it looks photorealistic, but it entirely fails the physical assignment. And it gets even worse when you factor in material properties. Say the prompt asks for a heavy pumpkin to fall and completely crush a wooden stool. Under one-shot prediction, the AI just entirely misjudges the mass. Instead of splintering the wood or tumbling off the side, this massive pumpkin just casually balances on a sharp edge like it's a feather. It's physically absurd. Which brings us to section 2. Enter PhysAgent. So the researchers behind today's source material propose a really elegant solution to this called PhysAgent. Instead of the whole blindfolded guessing game, PhysAgent acts as a reflective, agentic framework. Basically, think of it as a digital brain. It takes its initial guess, runs it through a 3D simulator to check its answers, figures out exactly where it messed up, rewrites the parameters, and then tries again. It's this constant, iterative, feedback-driven loop. Going back to that bowling split we talked about earlier, in a normal system, we just get that initial one-shot failure. But PhysAgent doesn't just output a miss and give up. It evaluates the simulation, realizes the trajectory is way off, and actively revises the underlying math. It explicitly adjusts the force direction parameter from 0.6 to 1.4. And the results? The ball shifts its trajectory and actually strikes the pins. It caught its own mistake and fixed it. But how exactly does it know what to fix? That takes us to section 3, the reflective loop. Under the hood, the engine of PhysAgent is a triad working in constant communication. First, you have the generator, which builds the initial physical control program, basically the scene state and the plan. Second, the verifier steps in as the inspector. It explicitly diagnoses what went wrong in the simulation, noting things like, hey, the ball slid instead of rolled. Finally, the planner takes that critique and proposes highly targeted code edits. So it's generate, fail, diagnose, plan, and execute, repeating that whole process until the physics are flawless. Now, simulating complex physics takes a ton of compute, so the system has to be pretty smart about this loop. It uses what the paper calls a progressive validation schedule. Think of it as a two-stage quality check. Stage 1 only checks the scene reconstruction. Like, did we build the 3D room right? Are the objects actually recognized? If that fails, it stops and fixes it right there. Only once the scene is totally perfect does it move to stage 2, physical simulation validation, where it actually runs the physics. I mean, it won't bother calculating complex force dynamics if the room itself is built upside down, right? That makes the whole agent highly efficient. To see this loop in action, imagine trying to roll a small red ball off a ledge so it lands perfectly inside a cup down below. In the first simulation run, the verifier detects a dynamics failure. The initial speed was set to 0.5 meters per second, which causes the ball to fall completely short of the cup. The planner receives this exact diagnosis and bumps the speed up to 0.8 meters per second. The final result is a perfect swish. The AI actually learned the physics through visual evidence.
So how does it actually communicate these changes? Section 4, the language of motion. To bridge the gap between a super vague human prompt, like throw the ring, and the hardcore math of a physics engine, PhysicAgent uses specific action APIs. Instead of trying to write messy, brittle, low-level code, the AI uses a very compact semantic vocabulary. Things like set velocity, apply force, and apply torque. It's translating your intent into a concrete language of motion. This abstraction is huge because it allows the agent to precisely compose complex physical events, like applying a force vector at a very specific angle, without getting totally bogged down in simulator syntax. The crucial takeaway from the source material here is a massive paradigm shift. We are finally treating physical specifications as an executable hypothesis rather than one-shot predictions. We are moving away from models that just blindly guess and hope for the best. Instead, the AI forms a hypothesis, tests it out in a safe simulation, observes the real physics, and refines its own understanding before it ever renders the final pixels. By closing this loop, PhysicAgent dramatically improves how AI generalizes to complex physical scenarios. The video generation of tomorrow won't just look real, it will actually obey the laws of the universe. But it leaves us with an incredibly exciting question to ponder. If an AI system can learn perfect, complex physics simply by being given a space to reflect and iterate, what other messy, real-world tasks could it master if we just give it the ability to learn through trial and error? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning what you see.